Hello.
Hey, Dad.
Hey. Is this Pat?
How are you doing?
Is this Pat?
Yes.
Hey, okay, how are you?
Good. I called to say happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
What you doing today?
Oh, I'm having me a swell time here. I got a nice visitor with me.
Oh, do you?
Hi, Grandpa.
I was born in a little old place called Minkler. It's November 30th, 1921. My father's name was Zack Uribes. He came from Durango, the state of Durango. My mother's was Dominga Somoza. That was her maiden name. Her parents, they were Yaqui Indian. She was born in a little town called Snelling. It's up just a little bit north of Merced. They used to work out in the fields. And so they would, maybe if you were picking grapes or something that required working through a row, they would try to get a row next to each other. So that's the way it was, that the romances started. But my dad, he bought a little ranch, only 8-acre ranch, a small one. That's where I was born. You know. He had an accident. He hurt his head. He fell down somewhere and he had to quit working. That was when I was growing up, teenager. But most all of us took after my mother. Well, she was a very quiet person. She was very amiable, you know. She always had time to tell us cuentos, to tell the stories. But her stories were always sad. But I used to figure she was trying to advise us, you know, and she would do it with the story. But she was a very good mother because she had 7 children. You know, that's quite a few. Grace was the oldest, and then Pete, he was next, and then Margaret, and Lucille, and then I came along. And then Elmo, right after me, and Gregory, he's the youngest. Greg, he was about 6 years younger than me, but every once in a while we'd get together and go to the dance together. Later when we got a job at the same place. We both did cabinets, Elmo. She was my younger sister. She liked to go to dances. In fact, I used to take her, to the dance when I met my wife. The one that was closer was Lucille. Lucy, we used to call her Lucy. Lucille, she was about a year and a half older than I was. She used to help me with my lessons. We would read the same books. She liked to read cowboy stories. My sister Margaret, there wasn't no one like her. She was very sharp. You were around her, she'd make you laugh, Even if things didn't look too good, she'd make a joke or something, and say and get you in the mood, So she was quite a character. Well, I'll tell you, my brother Pete, he wasn't much of a troublemaker, but he used to get into a lot of scrapes, He liked to ride around like a motorcycle, and that was murder. And my mother would worry about that. He used to play harmonica, so we listened to him play harmonica, Grace, she played guitar. Yeah. In fact, she was taking lessons, really learning music. I used to make her mad because she used to sweep the house, Her job was to keep the house clean. So she'd sweep it up, and I'd go around there and on purpose, I remember I used to do something and get her so mad. And I enjoyed that, I enjoyed to get her mad. And when I was about in the 4th grade, she bought me a bicycle. It was my first bicycle. And she used to work in a packing house. So she used to make a little money in the summertime. So she bought me a 2-wheeler, a regular bike. After that, I never bothered her again. After that, I said, oh, and I used to think about it. I said, I shouldn't have done that. But she used to chase me with a broom, get out of here. I never forget that. We were taught to do things for each other. You know, in other words, if somebody needed something of me, you know, I was supposed to help him, you know. So we all did that. My mother passed away in 1938. She was, I think, was 47. I was a junior in high school, so I was about 16, I guess, 17, something like that. Then when she passed away, well, that was still very much in the Depression days. So I had to quit and help out with the home, you know, expenses. So when I left the high school, I didn't go back, you know, so I worked all year round. You know, once you get out, it's pretty hard to get back. So that's why I didn't graduate, at least get my diploma. So it took me about 60 years to get it, but I got it. The Depression was awful. Everything was a struggle. Everybody struggled then. But we made it. And then a couple of years later, the Army came along and I had to go to the Army. So 1941 at Pearl Harbor. And then the following year, I went into the service. I wanted to volunteer. Then I could have chosen where I wanted to go, but I couldn't because I was supporting the family at the time. So I had to wait. I waited until the very last. Finally, when I had to go, then they put me wherever they wanted to put me, wherever they needed. When I went in, I had them take out so much of my pay and send it home. I was in the service 3 years and 4 months. I decided that just before I left Manila there, that's where our ship was, I told myself, this is a part of my life that I'm going to keep to myself and not even think about it. Just, it happened and it happened, you know.
When did you meet Grandma?
I met her in 1946, about right after I came out of the service. Met her at a dance hall. She hadn't been in Fresno very long either, because she moved from Arizona, that's where she was born, and then she moved to Los Angeles. And then from there she moved to Fresno. And then this fellow kept wanting to dance with her, you know. And so she says, no. She didn't want to dance. He had been drinking a little bit, she didn't want to dance with her. So anyway, I came by, you know, and as soon as I came by, and I was going to ask her to dance because I saw this guy there. And I said, well, maybe it's her boyfriend. I better not mess around. So anyway, and then she said, well, this is my boyfriend. She told him, oh, okay. And he walked away. And it made me laugh, you know. I knew she had just made it up, you know. Then she told me later on, she apologized. She said, that fellow had been drinking too much, and she said, I'm sorry, I embarrassed her. I know, I said, that's fine, that's all right. So then I got to dance with her the rest of the dance because she had to put me on the spot, you know. And I says, well, I've got to act like her boyfriend. Oh yeah, she was a good dancer. I was the one that was no good. I used to dance, but you know, she could put up with me.
Do you remember how you asked Grandma to marry you?
Well, actually, I don't know if I ever asked her. We got along, you know, we got going together. And then pretty soon I gave her a ring, got her a ring, and that's it. I didn't. And then my dad had to go and ask for her, you know, to the parents. In other words, we kind of got together very casually. You know, we didn't make a big fuss about it, which is so. Anyway, you know, that took a while to get the family to get used to me. You know, because I wasn't very sociable. I too was I used to hold back quite a bit. You know. I was more serious. You know, I take everything seriously. So when I met Carmen and I started going with her, then I started getting serious in her. And she did too. We got married at St. Alphonsus Church, there in Fresno. Very nice church. We also had our 25th anniversary there at the same church. And the same priest that married us the first time, he was still there and he married us again. We were married in April of 48, and she was born about a year after we got married. And then I took the house over, and that's where my children were born.
También yo estoy en la región perdida, oh cielo santo, y sin poder volar. Hallarás un nido en donde pueda la estación pasar. También yo estoy.
Hi there, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving Day.
Santo y sin poder volar.
I dream a lot of people who have passed away, have died, and sometimes I think, well, it's not that I'm nearing that age, that I'm going through that now, but it's just that it's in my mind, that I used to know them, and they come back in that way. I wake up and I start thinking about that. why did I dream that person, And it's because I knew him, Some were good friends, and that happens to me pretty often. I guess in your dreams you bring those people back, and